Welcome, guys, to the NBA live stream. We're going to talk about the showdown slate here with the Hawks and the Bucks, Game 2, Eastern Conference Finals. Super excited for this one. I know it's an earlier stream, but I figured an earlier stream would be better than no stream at all. So, going to be a shorter one, about 15-ish minutes. But what we're going to do here is we'll take a look at what we know so far for news. We don't have starting lineups for either team, but I don't think there's going to be any major changes. Take a look at the Vegas odds really quick. I'll go team by team, talk about the players I have interest in, and then leave some time for some questions at the end. So if you guys are just coming in, if you could hit the like button, it helps me out a lot. And let's just jump into it. So as far as news goes, we have nothing right now. Again, I'm not really expecting any changes here. I think we get same starters for both teams. So yeah, I'm not expecting anything crazy here. It's not like the Clippers where like they can really start anyone, right? And we saw that after lock, they changed the starting lineup. But yeah, so Bucks Hawks at 226 over under. The Bucks are 8-point favorites, even though they lost game 1. So we'll start off with the Atlanta side, and at the top, Trae Young at 11-8 is going to be one of the more popular players. Now, my stance last showdown slate was I thought he was going to be severely under-owned, and he was. He was only 50% owned, 57% I think the large field stuff. That's not going to be the case this time around. He's going to be way more popular. Now, could you make the argument to fade Trae? I think you can. If you're playing that Bucks blow them out route, then yeah, you can fade Trae Young. Then if I'm doing that, I'll probably just stack the Bucks main guys. So, but if this game stays competitive, I mentioned in the YouTube video, if it stays competitive, I have a hard time seeing Trae Young not being in the winning lineup, right? I don't think Trae Young can shoot 5 of 23 from the field and this game stay close. So I think Trae has to have a big game. I like him a lot at the top. Now, Collins, Capella, both of them play in the mid-range. I think both more contrarian options for me. But John Collins has gone for 40-plus fantasy points the last 3 games. He's obviously a good rebounder. He's been their number 2 in offense, really, with Bogdanovic struggling with that knee injury. So Collins is playable. Capella also much more viable in this series. I like the matchup a lot better. He cracked 44. He hit 44 fantasy points. So Collins, Capella, the 2 bigs for the Hawks, I think are solid plays. I would rank them behind though Middleton and JRUE. I think I would rather get to those 2 guys over the bigs in Atlanta. Now Herter, just a price point. It's hard for me to prioritize him. Now, is there a way he's in the winning lineup? Yeah, I mean he's gone for 40 fantasy points in 2 of the last 3 games, but also, like, the floor is way lower on Herter, right? He's gone for 5, 17, 3 of the last 6 games. So Herter, more of a contrarian option. But Bogdanovic, it's just too expensive. The knee injury, you can tell it's really affecting him. Plus, he's not shooting well. Even as a contrarian option, I just don't think I can go there. Now, Gallinari is a little bit more in range here with this price of 5-6. He had a bad game last game, but he's still a guy that can go out and get you 30 fantasy points. I think we get around 25 minutes. He's gone for 30, 23, 30, and 25 minutes the last 4 games. A little bit reliant on the scoring. Can grab some rebounds. Obviously, he's a bigger body. He's like, 6'10 or so. So Gallinari, I think, is fine. Would have wished he was a little bit cheaper, though. It is a little bit difficult to get to him. Cam Reddish, don't think he plays. He was behind Solomon Hill and Tony Snell, so I don't think Reddish plays. Lou Williams is definitely someone I think you can consider. I think 10 to 15 minutes on the bench. We've gotten 11, 11, and 12 the last 3 games. Now, he hasn't shot the ball well, right? 0 of 5, 2 of 4, and 1 of 5 the last 3 games. So, but if he does shoot well, like we saw 4 games ago, like he can crack 20 fantasy points. So, Lou Williams is one of those punt plays I think you can definitely consider. Obviously, he's not going to play a ton. Now, with both teams kind of going small, Solomon Hill played a lot more than I expected. He played 20 minutes. Now, we know Solomon Hill, not a good point per guy, but I think he's going to be pretty popular today because he's the flat min. He is 1K. And if people are going to, spend down, they're going to go to Solomon Hill. So I think he makes for a really interesting fade in tournaments because Solomon Hill is going to be popular. And we got to realize it's Solomon Hill, right? And there's still a chance maybe he only plays 10 minutes. So yes, he's the guy I would go to if I'm going to use someone at 1K. But I do think he might be a little bit over-owned because he's really the only viable option in the 1K range. And then, yeah, Okongwu was popular last night because we thought he would play his normal 10-ish minutes on the bench. He only played 3. Again, Brook Lopez lost minutes. Both teams went smaller. So is there a chance Okongwu goes back to 10 minutes? It's possible, but hard for me to go there. Now, let's talk about Milwaukee, and then we'll get to questions. Giannis, again, clear play in cash games in the captain spot too. Definitely the optimal play in the captain. You can make it work for sure. Could you make the argument to fade him in the larger field stuff? Yeah, anything can happen, right? You can get early foul trouble, but you're really gonna need something weird for Giannis to not be in the winning lineup. Now, if you do go that super risky route, as I always say, if you do fade Giannis, you lock in JRUE, you lock in Middleton, right? That's the only way you fade Giannis. Again, I will not be doing that. He's going to be 90%-ish owned, as he should be on this one. And Middleton, Jrue Holiday, I like both. Now, I mentioned this in my video, but it's like they seem to take turns on who's going to play well in each series. It was Jrue the first series, it was Middleton last series, and now it looks like it's going to be back to Jrue Holiday. Now, Jrue is 9-4, Middleton is 10-2. Middleton can obviously outscore him. However, it is a little bit easier to get Jrue Holiday in there. I think both are pretty similar plays. Both have actually shown a decent floor if they're not hitting their shots. I do think it's a little bit easier to get to Jrue in, but Jrue should come in at higher ownership. So if you want to go Middleton over Jrue Holiday for lower ownership, perfectly fine with me. You could obviously play both too if you want to. If you want to go that full stack of Milwaukee and maybe hope for the blowout, I'm good at that. Like, you can go Giannis in the captain, you can go Middleton, you can go Jrue Holiday and kind of play for that blowout. I don't think that's the worst idea. It is definitely possible. Now, Brook Lopez is a guy I have a hard time getting to because he got benched last game. Again, both teams went small. Now, as I mentioned, like, there's still a chance if he plays well, he could play over 30 minutes. Now, he kind of got burned in that pick and roll, right? He's just got cement feet. He can't really move well. So, is there a chance he gets limited minutes again? I think it's definitely a possibility. So, Brolo, definitely a risky option based on what we saw last game, but not completely out of play. And then the value. So, there's 3 value plays I like here for Milwaukee. Connaughton, Tucker, Bobby Portis. Connaughton should play big minutes. He almost played 30 minutes last game. Again, if they go small, Connaughton will get extended. Obviously, he still has a decent floor, but if he can knock down a couple shots, I think Connaughton's a safer value play. Tucker, too. Again, never get excited about playing him, but 34, 38, 35 minutes. He should be out there for big minutes. Obviously, can fall to some rebounds, hit some corner threes. Another value play that I think is firmly in play. Bobby Portis, more the risky play. Now, he did play really well on the offensive end, but got cooked on the defensive end. So, like, would I be shocked if Bobby Portis gets a DNP? I wouldn't be shocked. I think that's definitely possible, and I think Milwaukee could go small here. So there's more risk with Portis than there is Connaughton and Tucker. However, Portis is clearly the best point per minute guy of those 3. So Portis has the most risk, but he's also, again, the best fantasy player of those 3. So I still have interest in Portis. I will say, though, he's a lot riskier than those other 2 guys I mentioned. And then I'll mention Bryn Forbes, 10 to 15 minutes or so. He's been struggling with the shot, but there is still a way. I know we haven't really seen it, but if he comes out and actually hits a couple threes, he could play 20 minutes. Like, there is a way. It's realistic where Bryn Forbes plays over 20 minutes tonight if he comes out hot. So, contrarian, he'll be low owned, but you got to get different, in the larger field stuff somehow. I don't hate going to Forbes as a contrarian value play. And that's really it. Like, Jeff Teague actually got a couple minutes. I don't think he plays here, or I would be a little bit surprised. Stantis might get a minute or 2 for defensive purposes at the end of the quarter. But yeah, that's our Matt guys for the player-by-player breakdown. Again, cash games, Giannis and the captain, pretty clear. GPPs, obviously, like the main guys, you can go to any one of those guys in the captain. As far as like value, again, I actually played Bobby Portis in the captain last night. It worked out. Now, I think he's going to be a little bit more popular than he should be in the captain spot this game. I think I'm leaning towards going to a guy like Giannis in the captain. And maybe getting different, somewhere else, or leaving a little bit of salary on the table in large field stuff. So, all right, guys, let's do some questions. We're at 100 viewers, 27 likes. If we could try to get to, let's see, maybe 40, 50 likes before I get out of here, I'll be on for another 7 minutes. So throw some questions in there. And yeah, Herter bounce back game. I think Herter, he's a fine contrarian play. The issue is he's too close in price for me to a guy like Collins, Capella, Jrue, Middleton. I have a hard time prioritizing Herter over those guys, but that doesn't mean Herter can't be in the winning lineup, right? He's shown the upside, so contrarian for sure, low road play, but I'm probably not going to go there. Jrue a captain? Yeah, I think Jrue a captain's fine. That'll be low owned. I think the most popular play is obviously going to be Giannis, probably followed by TRAE, and then Jrue Middleton will be up there for number 3. I don't know, because Brolo got burned in the pick and roll. So I think there's a chance they go small again. So that's the tricky part with Brook Lopez. Risky option, again, not completely out of play, but I don't love it. I don't love it. And it's not like he's super cheap either. He's over 6K. I'm not playing the showdown tonight, but I'm playing the 2-game. Nice. Yeah, I've been doing pretty well in those 2-gamers. I know you had a close to takedown last night, Patrick, so congrats again. Giannis captain for me. That's kind of my consensus too. Even though it's going to be popular, you can get different in other ways. Going Middleton at captain, fine with it, yeah. Pat T, Lou Williams, or Tucker. I can afford any. For me, it's going to be Pat Connaughton. Thoughts on Capella at captain will make your lineup different. Now, could it work out? Yeah, I think he has a better chance of succeeding in this series, and we saw it with the 44 fantasy points last game. Not out of play, but yeah, again, it's gonna. If you go anything other than Giannis or TRAE in the captain, you're gonna have a different lineup. Tucker or Connaughton, they're both pretty similar. I guess if you have the salary for Connaughton, but I think they both are safer value plays because of their minutes. Obviously, both have low floor, but there's not a lot of guys in that range that are going to play big minutes, and Tucker, Connaughton should both push for 30-ish. Is it too risky to fade TRAE in large in high dollar? You can. You can. The way that works out if the Bucks blow them out. And that is possible, right? It's an 8-point spread. So if the Bucks just run away with it, then, you know, a winning lineup might be like Giannis in the captain with JRUE and Middleton and kind of just a Bucks stack. So it's possible. I wouldn't feel amazing about it, but at least in the larger field stuff, you will for sure have a different lineup if you do that. Middleton or JRUE, price doesn't matter. Yeah, it's really, I don't have a super strong take on it because both guys are very up and down. I guess price doesn't matter. Small lean to Middleton, but I don't, that's not like a strong take because both have been up and down. Giannis a captain with John Collins, Connaughton, Portis, Tucker, Trae Young. Is this lineup going to be chalky? No. I think having John Collins in there will make your lineup different. I think the chalk build is going to be Giannis, TRAE, and one of JRUE or Middleton. So having John Collins in there, I think will make your lineup a little bit different. Capella captain with TRAE, Giannis, JRUE, Tucker, and Solomon Hill. Okay. Contrarian for sure, but I don't see anything wrong with that. Like Solomon Hill's the 1K guy that's going to be popular. Is TRAE a must for showdown? No. If the game blows out, that's where TRAE's not in the winning lineup. But as I mentioned, if the Hawks keep this game competitive, I have a hard time. I don't see a way where TRAE's not in the winning lineup. So if you're playing for a competitive game, I think you play Trae Young. The way he's not in the winning lineup is a blowout. Giannis captain with Trae Young, Middleton, Connaughton, Portis, and Lou Williams. That looks pretty good to me. I was putting Tony Snell as my captain when I remembered to like Hill playing 20 minutes again. I'm not sure. I would say there's a chance you could see less minutes. Hill at captain, I wouldn't do it. If I'm going to go someone cheap in the captain, it would be one of those Bucks guys like a Portis, a Connaughton, a Tucker. Yeah, I wouldn't go Solomon Hill in the captain. All right, guys, we got a couple minutes left, so any more questions, leave them in here. I'm going to know it's an earlier stream, but I wanted to get a stream in. Captain Tucker, Giannis, TRAE, Capella, Middleton, Lou Williams. Really contrarian, but hey, I mean, PJ Tucker has had a couple of ceiling games, right? He's gone for 25 a couple times, right? 28, 26. Like if PJ Tucker goes for 25 fantasy points, you're going to be looking pretty good at that lineup. Personally, not a fan of Solomon Hill today. Yeah, so the argument you make for Solomon Hill is I think he's going to be popular. The reason he's going to be popular is he's really the only viable guy at 1K. And like a chalky Solomon Hill, I'm good getting away from that. Captain Middleton with Capella, Forbes, Holiday, Portis, TRAE, thoughts? I think it looks pretty solid. Wait, so you're fading Giannis though. I mean, fading Giannis is very, very risky, but there is a way it works out. You can make an argument for almost anything, right? The way that works out, I think, is early foul trouble for Giannis, or he really, really struggles. Forbes or Lou Will? I think I'd rather have Lou Williams. Yeah, prize picks. Let me take a look. Where is... I'll bring out my phone. Capella and Collins. It'll make it really, really contrarian. I probably wouldn't. But, yeah, again, it'll make your lineup very different. So, let's see. So yeah, I mentioned, so Trae Young's still sitting at 51.5. If you think this game stays competitive, I think that he goes over. The way that goes under, I think, is if this game blows out. So I think that's kind of the one I like, if you think it stays competitive. Now we'll see what Milwaukee does for adjustments, right? Because Trae really abused them in the pick and roll. Trae and Pat Connaughton or Collins and Capella. I think I'd rather have Trae and Patsy. That is close, though. Capella, captain with Hill, Tucker, Giannis, Trae, Jrue. I'll say it's playable. It'll make your lineup different. I've seen a lot of Capella captains. I don't love the Capella and the captain play, but he has a better shot of succeeding in this game than the previous series. I did. Yeah, I got a playoff pack. I haven't opened it yet. Ben Simmons playoff assist. I'm really going to like when it's trade to Portland. Coach Buck. Yeah, I mean, that is true. Budenholzer like rarely adjusts. He rarely does. So is Forbes a good value? He'll be a low-owned contrarian play. I think normally he gets 10 to 15 minutes. However, he comes out hot and makes a couple threes. There's a chance he plays over 20 minutes. And if both teams go small, maybe Forbes is a guy that gets extended instead of like Connaughton or Tucker. So I like him for the reason of he's going to be low owned, and there's still a way where he plays more and actually, does well, right? Where he gets his fantasy points is hitting shots. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get out here. Going to go do a quick stream for Patreon. So good luck and enjoy the game today. Who benefits the most from adjustment to trade, pick, and roll? I mean, it depends what the adjustment is. So, like, if they're just going to double team Trae, then, Herter, Bogdan probably get a boost. Are you fading Bogdanovich? Yeah, I don't have Bogdanovich in there. Is playing Forbes and Middleton contrarian enough with Giannis captain? Yeah. I think Forbes will make your lineup different. He'll be low owned. So, yes. But, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me. Good luck, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for another live stream to break down, Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals.